Today on HandyDadTV, I'm going to talk about my 2018 lawn care plan, which is kind of an adaptation of several other people. I'm going to tell you about it coming up. Welcome to HandyDadTV. I'm Chris Heider, your virtual dad in the cloud, and today we're talking lawn care again. This is going to be my second application of fertilizer this year, and the big thing about this year is I kind of adapted my own plan based on what I got from Alan Hain, the lawn care nut.
What's up, y'all? I'm Alan Hain, the lawn care nut. Thanks for coming back for yet another week.
And what I've also learned from Lawn and Garden, as well as Ryan Knorr and some other people too. So it started out with creating a calendar. And this is something I picked up from Lawn and Garden TV. Take a look at this. So I got this idea of creating a calendar from Grass and Garden TV. That's another YouTuber. And he's actually in New Jersey. He's pretty close to where I am. So we've been chatting back and forth. And this is his calendar for 2018. And he's a fan of Milorganite, and he's also a fan of the lawn care nut. So, but as you guys know, I've been following along the lawn care nuts hybrid organic program, and so it's an interesting. I'm comparing and contrasting like the methods. But one of the things that I decided I wanted to do was I kind of followed the lead of Grass and Garden and started by creating this, what I'll call a generic calendar. It starts on the 1st and goes all the way to the 31st, and then it would enable you by month to be able to do the same type of thing that he did. But I had a little bit of I said, you know what, it made the weekends kind of wrap. In some cases, this could be a Saturday and the next one is a Sunday, and it just didn't look right. So I then went to a second version, which I called week aligned. And that is, I put the weekdays across the top, and then I varied these cells based on when the month starts and ends. So at least that way you could see, okay, this column here is Saturday and Sunday, and I could do that across. And that caused me to then go a little bit further, because I still had a situation where, well, this could be a Saturday. Well, in this situation, this one was a Saturday, and then the Sunday starts here. So it kind of, I don't know, I didn't like it. So I decided to try what I'm calling a 4-week cycle. And this one lines up the Saturday, Sunday, and 4 weeks on each row. And you can see April starts here, May, June, July, August, etc. So that's kind of the next iteration, and I thought that was good. But Alan Hain talks about putting down Milorganite every 5 weeks. So this one, when I started to plot out the Milorganite applications, I said, all right, I did one there, I'm going to do one here, and then what I'm going to do one there. And I was like, well, that doesn't make sense. So then I went to a 5-week calendar. Now, the benefit of this one is that it broke it out into 5 weeks of cycles. That's what I call it, a 5-week cycle. So, and there's 6 of them through my growing season, which kind of starts the end of March and ends in the end of October. So it's about 30 weeks total. So I'm going to colorize it here, and you're going to see what I'm talking about. So what I did is I took that plan and I kind of made a little bit of a key here, color code it. And the magic here is that each cycle starts with a fertilizer application. And I put Milorganite down at the beginning of every cycle, except for one, but I'll talk about that in a second. So fertilizer, I should say fertilizer, not just Milorganite, but Milorganite's going to be the majority of it, but it's not necessarily the only fertilizer I put down. So I started on March 31st this year, and that was my beginning of cycle 1. Now, the way that I did this calendar and the way that I can reuse it every year is it all pivots off of Memorial Day, which is the last Monday in May is always Memorial Day here in the US. And so that's the date that I put in, and everything else automatically plots out. So the days before is, you could see it's the Memorial Day cell -1. And every day after is the Memorial Day cell +1. Okay, so what I've done is if you come in here and you can say, all right, I want this to be, let's say 5/27/2019, boom, everything changes, including this heading. It says now it's Lawn Care 2019, and it starts on March 31st. So you can see that's how I did it. All right, anyway, enough about the details of the spreadsheet. Let's talk about the plan itself. So like I said, 6 cycles with fertilizer in the beginning of every cycle. So I am just about to, as I record this, it's the very end of cycle 1. I'm about to do my cycle 2. Now, what I did for cycle 1, I did fertilizer, and my plan is to put pre-emergent down right away too in early spring. Now, this year, spoiler alert, I didn't get it down that day. We had snow that day. Can you see my fertilizer under there? That's where it is. That's what I did on Saturday. And here it is Monday, and it's all covered. So it got pushed back, and I didn't get to it this weekend, so it got pushed back to the 14th, believe it or not. But it was the best intentions, so I'm still going to put down another pre-emergent here, too, just to carry me through. I may delay it a little bit, I don't know. But that's the plan for cycle 2. So that's the way that I did it. Green is fertilizer, pink is pre-emergent. The tan color is antifungal. And I'll put one application in at the 5th week within cycle 2. So this cycle is going to have the first antifungal that has to go down. In New Jersey, we do get bad brown patch, and that's what that will treat. In addition, I also treat my trees for bagworms. That's what the bright blue is here. So that gets done the first weekend in June as well. So again, right after Memorial Day is usually the first week of June, because obviously that's the last Monday in May. So that's when it will be. Every year it'll be the weekend after Memorial Day. Again, this is the plan. It's not cast in stone. Things can happen. I could be away. Things may shift. And what I'll do is I'll print this out and I'll plot down exactly when I do whatever I do. And that way I can look at it from year to year. Okay, but back to this. Bagworms, I only do once a year. I have abrevieties in my yard that have been decimated by bagworms in the past, so now I proactively treat those every year. Insect control. Now, this yellow here is not insect control as in granular being put down on the grass. This is, I use bifenthrin in my yard, and I spray it for mosquitoes, so I'll also spray the grass. So I'm trying to keep that on a 5-week cycle. I don't know if that's going to be enough to control mosquitoes. I'm going to try it, but I did a couple videos on doing that. I kind of butchered my backpack blower to be able to blow the bifenthrin and control for mosquitoes. So that's pretty interesting, and I'll link to it above. All right, so then cycle 3, I apply the grub control the beginning of cycle 3 as well as more fertilizer. And then this is 2 weeks after the previous antifungal. I have to hit another dose of antifungal. And hopefully that will take care of any brown patch for me for the year. Starting to get into the hot season here in cycles 3 and 4, so there's no weed control during those 2 cycles because it will put too much stress on the grass. That's, again, another tip from Alan Hain. So weed control is fine in the first 2 cycles and the last 2 cycles, but not the middle. Now, cycle 4 is different. I'm not going to put nitrogen on the lawn, but I'm going to use a product this year called Love Your Soil. This is from Jonathan Green. This is supposed to be a fertilizer for soil, and it's supposed to improve the, I don't know what you want to call it, the microbes within the soil and make it better for the soil itself. So that's going to be the beginning of cycle 4. And then cycle 5 is when I would put down another dose of Milorganite. If I want to seed, I would seed probably in this period of time. There's a reason why I put a gap in here. That's if I did have any crabgrass that grew in here, even though I put down 2 pre-emergents, if I did get any crabgrass, you want to spray for crabgrass in this time frame. You don't want to have to spray after seeding because they will kill your seedlings. So I can take care of any spot crabgrass that I need to in here, and then I can do the overseeding. And then for my 6th cycle, it's just fertilizer. So that's my plan. And I know some guys, I know Alan Hain talks about fertilizing in Thanksgiving and whatnot, but I'm not going to go that late. I mean, usually I've got leaves all over the place, and The grass looks good by that point, so I think the end of October would be fine for this plan anyway. One advantage to my cycle program on my lawn calendar is that I can plot out what I'm going to be using in each one of the cycles, which products I'm going to be using, what size they were, where did I buy them, what I paid for them, how many of them did I use, and I can calculate the cost and tabulate it by cycle, and it kind of shows me at least a plan of what I expect to spend. So if you remember in my first video about this year's lawn care, I said I spent $1,100 on professional lawn care last year. So here I'm spending $700 on products, but I'm doing the work myself. But this is a much better plan than the professionals were doing, in my opinion. I'm doing much more here and taking care of things that they didn't take care of. And certainly I can tweak it because it's my own lawn. I care more about it than they did. So it makes more sense that way. I'd like to hear your feedback. Leave me comments in the video description and let me know what you think. All right, thanks. Visit my website, HandyDadTV, for more great ideas and information. Be sure to subscribe to be the first to know when new videos are posted.